Alright.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's date is January 22nd, 2026. We are in council chambers. Time is 5:33. I'd like to call this regular town council meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
You may, Chair Bragdon,
Present.
Councilor Danforth. Here. Councilor Cool.
Here.
Councilor Mackin. Here. Councilor McGowan. Here. Councilor Pelletier.
Here.
Councilor Runyon. Here.
Before we go to the Pledge of Allegiance, we had two outstanding community members that passed away recently. One of them was Lieutenant Nelson, who was a former firefighter from Millinocket, and Representative Javner, who spent extensive time representing our community. I'd like to just ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Can everyone stand and remove their hats for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a reminder, if you plan on staying for the public hearing, there is a sign-up sheet. I believe it's in the back of the room. All right. Seeking approval for the minutes there's adjustments to the agenda. Mr. Manager, we have updates for 13, 14, 20, 2022, 2021, and additions 24 and 25. Is there anything else?
That should be it.
All right, now I'm seeking approval of the minutes for January 8th, 2026, regular town council meeting and public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Councilor Danforth, seconded by Councilor Wallen. Any council comment? Yes.
Yes, I noticed on the minutes for January 8th that there was an omission. So I'd like to have the minutes amended under reports and communications, B, chair committee reports. One of the task force was left off. The infrastructure task force with Councilor Pelletier and Councilor Runyon needs to be added to that.
Seeking a second on the proposed amendment. All right, motion made by Councilor Malone, seconded by Councilor Runyon. Any comments from the council on the amendment? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment? Passes, unanimous. All right, council comments on the order as amended. Or the minutes as amended. Down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of the amended order? It passes, unanimous. All right, moving on to special presentations. Our first one's going to be resolve number 2-2026, proclamation honoring Melissa Crocco. Councilor Runyon, can I have you read it, please?
Resolve number 2-2026, a resolution honoring Melissa Crocco for her volunteerism for the town of Millinocket. Whereas Melissa has volunteered for the Community Initiatives Department, specifically in community events, and whereas Melissa has helped establish numerous events and programs such as the Town of Millinocket Scholarship Fund, Back to School Supply Giveaway, Annual Whoopie Pipe Bake Off, Bandstand Jam, and Community Movie Night. And whereas Melissa helped build a team of youth volunteers who are excited to participate, have a voice, and give back to their community. And whereas women who have attended Town of Millinocket events have commended Melissa for her kindness, dedication to town events, and her passion for creating community.
Motion made by Councilor Runyon, seconded by Councilor Pelletier. Council comments?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very happy that this recognition of Melissa is happening today. The first time I met Melissa, or I can remember, it was at the library. She's very involved at the library. And it was during COVID, during the pandemic. So it was like 2020, 2021, and we were giving out food to the community. She was right there front and center with her family members and just willing to step in and be present and help out in any way possible. So really appreciate citizens like Melissa, and thankful that we're doing it.
Any other council comment? I'll take a minute and just want to say thank you for all your hard work. As Councilor Danforth said, volunteering in Millinocket hasn't always been the easiest thing, especially this time of year when it's cold, snowy and wet, or during COVID for that matter. So thank you for all the volunteerism that you got, you did. And for the one thing I love about this is the youth volunteers that you brought on with you. So thank you so, so much. I'll go down. Yes, Mr. Manager.
Melissa. And Ghost and Geo and Dean and the whole group. It's this resolve is in the name of Melissa, but her whole family would get involved at any time that we needed some help for any event. They've been there, and I have no doubt will continue to be there. What specifically comes to mind is the movie nights that happened all through last summer. There was even one where Amber and I were both at a conference in Chicago, and we, after a quick training session on some of the technology and the setup and everything, Melissa and Gio and them, they came and they did it all themselves. The whole thing, setting up the screen, the PA system, everything. I did get one panicked phone call in my hotel room in Chicago. But it was they were already figuring it out, and just took some confirmation, and they truly dedicated volunteers, and we are incredibly grateful. Some events certainly would not have happened had it not been for their dedication and volunteerism to the community. So I very much appreciate it.
Any public comment?
Amber Wheaton, our director, formerly the CID. I've had the privilege of working alongside Melissa over the years on the Town of Millinocket's events team. Melissa is one of the most kind, enthusiastic, organized people that I know, and she truly loves this community. I want to thank Melissa for her years of dedication to the Town of Millinocket, specifically with the events team. Her time and effort have not gone unnoticed and is appreciated more than I could personally put into words. I also want to extend my gratitude to Melissa's family for their sacrifice, as she has spent countless hours serving this community, and oftentimes her kids are voluntold to show up. Lastly, I want to thank the town council for recognizing Melissa's outstanding achievement. I'm so grateful for her service, and I think it's very much deserved.
Any other public comment?
Paul Malcolm, 73 School Street. Volunteers community is very lucky. Has been for years. Okay. I've been involved in a lot of events in this community for a long time. Just put it that way. Melissa and what she brought to our team was unbelievable. If we needed something, we call Melissa, and family would come, sometimes not wanting to, but they would come. And not only that, they brought their friends, and they helped. As Peter said, this year, with especially with the airport stuff that we did with the movies, but all around all the events, and she's always there, and she's always willing to do whatever she can do to help, and we don't get a lot. So, thank you very much for doing this for her. It's well.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Melissa, would you like to come up and say a few words, or no? All right, I want person. All right, going back to the council for a vote. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. You want to come up? We're going to take a photo.
You will have.
Yeah, you have to.
We won't make you talk.
We're gonna. I'll make you talk, but you gotta get a photo.
Well, I'm thinking myself here.
Yeah.
All right, moving on, our second special presentation is the Age Friendly Award presentation.
Yes, and Mr. Chairman, I'll be saying a few words to present this to the Age Friendly Committee. So, you know, it's truly a pleasure to be able to recognize the Millinocket Age Friendly Committee for their work and for their dedication to our community. This committee was formed with a shared goal to help make Millinocket a place where people of all ages can live safely, stay connected, and feel supported. Over the past several years, this committee has brought together community partners, volunteers, and town departments to turn that goal into action. Their work has strengthened our community connections, improved access to resources, supported safety and accessibility, and created opportunities for residents of all ages to come together. The Age Friendly Committee has shown what can be accomplished through collaboration, persistence, and a strong commitment to the well-being of our residents. On behalf of the town of Millinocket, we thank Jane and the Age Friendly Committee members for their leadership, for their service. It is our honor to present to you a plaque this evening from the AARP Network of Age-Friendly States and Communities, recognizing your age-friendly leadership achievements and continuing commitment toward fostering a livable community for people of all ages.
Outstanding. I'll go to council comments first, and I think I'll refer to Council Danforth before I go to anyone else.
Well, thank you, Mr. Manager. And I will say I've been at this since 2019, but I haven't been at it alone. There's a whole committee and there's other people in the room that have been part of this effort that I want to come forward as well. And one, I'll start off with Mr. Malcolm, Tom Malcolm. He was actually doing this work before the committee even started. And he continues to do this work, and you see his great efforts with our sand bucket program. That was probably one of our initial programs that we kicked off with the community. And we have grown to hold different events, like February 15th this year, we'll have the Katahdin Snowdown. And that was made possible through the AARP, some funding that we had back in 2020 to start that. And since then, we've had other events, community cleanup events, and the 5K walk run during Trails End Festival. We've also started the community garden, and we have had other things. And we've had some efforts around the farmers market, farmers and artisan market, to get those things started. So our work is not done. We were recognized. I submitted a progress report for 3 years of work. That's available online. I have a hard copy here just to show the collaboration of all the community members, and community organizations that have been involved. Appreciate the recognition. We currently, I guess I'll just also mention there's great things going on through the fire department. So as you mentioned, one of our partners is the town, and so through Public Works and through the fire department. Currently, people on social media have seen that they can contact the fire department for a fire extinguisher and or carbon monoxide combination smoke detector. Those funds were made available because we're an age-friendly community, could apply for some grant funds to do so. So this work goes in partnership with many community organizations. The library is a huge one as well. So I want to give a shout out to the library. And so our committee members that have made this possible, Diana Fulcalo was one. She's no longer in that role, but we're going to have another member of the library join in that role. I'm going to look around the room. Randy Jackson's not here, but he was a founding member. Got the pickleball program started, still going, one of those pickleball nets. Louis Pelletier has been involved right along. My coworker, Robin Stevens, she's not able to be here. Have I left anybody off? And Barbara's right here, and I want her to come up as well, Barbara. As far as she picked out the farmers marketing work to get that started as well. So thank you. I'm sorry. I know I took a little bit of time, but wanted to get a little soundbite for the work of the committee, and it's going to continue.
I think it's important to give credit where credit is due, especially the committee members, so no, absolutely. Barbara, I'll defer to you if the council's okay with that, if you have any comments or.
I'd like to touch it.
Could you come up to the mic just so the people on Zoom can hear as well, please? And we get it for you too.
Barbara, Riddle Moshak at 6 Main Avenue, opposite the library. I would like to give a shout out to Tom Malcolm for his constant support of the farmer's market at all hours of the day and night. And we couldn't have done it without him, so thank you, Tom. And also to the fire department for their help with distributing not only sand buckets, but the smoke detectors. I think that's a really great program. And there's lots more to come. The AARP has all kinds of community challenge grants. So in the range of 5,000 to 10,000. If anybody here has a project that they think would be a fit for an age-friendly community activity, check it out with Jane, because there's people and money out there. So thank you.
Now to the council. Sorry, I had to look. Council.
Don't want to let go on over future as low as possible, and we would have the award they wanted for Jane. She's backbone that keeps it going. Great leader, and for her report writing, we wouldn't even know about this.
Any other council?
Thank you for making it
My
happen
pleasure.
to all of you. It is important.
Right, I'll go down to the public.
On Malcolm 73 School Street. I just want to give you a little back history on this whole thing. As Jane said, I'd worked with ARP before it became an age-friendly community. I worked for 2 years with Fire Marshal's office. The Fire Marshal and I went community to community trying to sell this idea and doing classes and a lot of stuff with fire prevention and fall prevention and how programs could run. Tricia O, one of our state ARP ladies, kept saying to me, "You must have somebody in Millinocket that'll help you with this. This could fly in Millinocket." And I said, "Yeah, but you gotta find a person to do it. That's where we struggle." And as the 2 years went through from 17 to 19, I kept thinking it's gotta be somebody. And then I happened to be coming home one night and we worked with Jane on Thrive Penobscot and all these other groups. So that's what really, she took the ball around. And that's what, as Louis said, it takes the leadership. I mean, we can all do the work, but when it comes to writing reports and being the leader, that's what we really needed for somebody to take it by the horns and go, which is what she did. So thank you. And this is a very proud moment for me to even happen. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, I believe Mr. Manager has a lot. Jane, go down and get a photo op.
Yeah, and I want all the committee members to hear. That means.
I think she saw it.
We're looking at him. Found that. Little bit.
Right above that code desk.
That's right.
Can I just make one more statement before we go on to the next on the agenda? So I just want to thank everybody for the kind words, but also know that while we have the designation of the age-friendly committee, we have a community through the ARP, we still have a lot of work to do. It doesn't mean we're at the place where we need to be. There's a lot more work to do in our community. And anybody that wants to be involved in this work, please reach out to me or any of the other members. We always need doers, people to be involved. So thank you. So yeah, recruitment, recruitment. Thank you.
What a fantastic way to start up this council meeting with two wonderful awards. All right, moving on, we have another special presentation. Corporal Fitzgerald is here with us from EMPD for a quarterly presentation. Just a reminder that all presentations need to be limited to 15 to 20 minutes. Just a small signal when we get close to that mark, but take it away.
I'll do my best. So first, I would like to read a letter that was initially sent to the town manager. Writing to formally recognize and express our sincere appreciation for the outstanding assistance provided by Millinocket Public Works during a fatal motor vehicle accident that occurred on December 31st, 2025 in Millinocket. On that date, the East Millinocket Police Department, in coordination with Millinocket Fire Department, responded to and conducted a complex and time-consuming investigation into a fatal motor vehicle crash. As is often the case with investigations of this nature, extended road closures were required to ensure scene integrity and public safety. This particular incident necessitated the shutdown of a major section of Central Street for several hours. Without hesitation, Public Works Director Brian Dupre and lead man Steve Perot responded and assisted with establishing and maintaining road closures. Their efforts were carried out in extremely frigid temperatures for nearly 8 hours. This assistance was truly above and beyond their normal duties, especially given that they set aside other required responsibilities stemming from a recent snowstorm in order to support this operation. Their professionalism and dedication were a tremendous asset, allowing public safety personnel to remain focused on the investigation and other critical tasks. We would also like to extend our gratitude to Chief Cody and the members of the Millinocket Fire Department for their exceptional work at the scene. Due to the complexity of the crash and the types of vehicles involved, fire personnel remained on scene for several hours and provided invaluable assistance throughout the investigation. The cooperation, commitment, and teamwork displayed by Millinocket Public Works and the Millinocket Fire Department exemplified the strong working relationship between our agencies. We are truly grateful for their support and professionalism, and we greatly value the continued collaboration that enhances public safety for both of our communities. Please extend our thanks to all involved. I know that I don't believe Brian could make it tonight, but lead man Steve Perot is here. And I just kind of want to note that we didn't even call them and ask for this. This was something that they took upon themselves, knowing what was going on, and jumped right in to help us. As Steve can probably tell you, they were met with some resistance and some very unhappy people, obviously, but they handled it with class and dignity, and truly it was a huge, huge asset to us that day. So I really want to make sure they get the thanks for their assistance. And I believe that the fire chief would like to add to that as well. So you guys are all set with that. So.
Great, good evening. Like to add to it, we have a letter of commendation on behalf of the Millinocket Fire Department for commendation for exceptional support service to the Millinocket Public Works Department. I'd like to take this opportunity to formally commend the Millinocket Public Works Department for its outstanding assistance and service during a critical incident involving multiple agencies on the extended closure of Route 157 Central Street on December 31st, 2025. Upon request, the Millinocket Public Works Department responded immediately and without hesitation, provided essential support for approximately 7 hours to assist with the roadway closure. This prompt and dedicated response played a vital role in ensuring the safety and effectiveness of the overall operation. Professionalism, leadership, and commitment to teamwork are demonstrated by the Millinocket Public Works did not go unnoticed. In a time of uncertainty, their actions reflected reliability, accountability, and a strong sense of responsibility, qualities that bring great credit to the Millinocket Public Works Department. Their efforts were instrumental in maintaining a secure roadway, allowing public safety crews to operate safely and efficiently during this critical event. Thank you for your continued service, for going above and beyond when it was they're needed most.
Thank you. Just we want to take a minute and say thank you to everyone involved. It's situations like this that just show you that we are one community, regardless of what town we live in, these three towns, when something severe of this nature happens, it's absolutely beautiful to see how we all come together to get a situation solved and how fast we do it. So thank you to East Milwaukee Police Department, the Public Works Department, and the Fire Department and EMS for all the outstanding work that you guys do. Those letters are true to nature. I got to see firsthand the involvement that took place that day. So thank you again. Any council comments before we go back to public show?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just want to give heartfelt condolences to family members that I know even in the council tonight of the deceased. Very difficult.
Couldn't agree more. He was a good friend of mine. So, anyone else? Back to you, Michelle. Thank you.
All right. So I'll try and burn through all this. I know we haven't met in a while. So this is essentially our 2025 overview. As always, as we talked about before, staffing was a significant challenge. But throughout the year, we were able to maintain our minimum staffing levels, a lot of overtime, some unhappy officers, but we got it done. We have ended the year on a very strong note. We hired 2 new officers. One of them came certified from Ohio. The other one we will have to send to the Criminal Justice Academy in August. We do have 1 conditional offer out there right now that will make us full staffed. So that's a very, very positive direction. Obviously, field training with these new officers, it does take a lot of time, but we were able to work through this. As we also spoke about before, we were finally able to come to fruition with our congressional funding from Congressman Golden. And as you may have seen, we are all now wearing our body cameras, which has proven to be an invaluable tool for many things, transparency, evidence, accountability. However, as we knew was going to happen, it did bring a very big increase in administrative workload. As we're quickly learning criminal cases now, if there's no video, essentially they're not interested. So it's a lot of work because if you have multiple officers at a call, every single video from every officer has to be uploaded to that case, which I mean it takes hours. We did get our TrueNarc drug analyzer, which is a much safer piece of equipment in testing drugs. And we've received the equipment, but we will be upgrading our tasers. We learned that our current tasers are well over, some of them are probably older than 12 years old. And soon Axon will no longer support them. So basically what that meant, if we were to tase somebody with a taser they no longer support, they will not provide us legal representation, which is a big piece. And there's no warranties or anything else anymore. So we did have to upgrade. It was a little bit unplanned, but they now do like a 5-year contract program, which keeps them warranted and it keeps the price per year way down instead of having to purchase it all up front. Probably the most exciting news is the addition of the school resource officer. This was something that was spoke about many times in when we talked about in contract negotiations, that this was a big ask that the town of Millinocket wanted. It was something that we wanted, but obviously couldn't really just take an officer off the street and put him into the school. And then Officer Perfido fell in our lap, and we were able to work with the school. And this first year, we agreed that we would fund the position with one of our open patrol positions because we knew how beneficial it would be. We just needed it to be implemented so the school would be able to see that. I think as Councilor McLaughlin will probably tell us, it was not long, and the asset of having that school resource officer was quickly realized. He has so far in the first half of the school year 32 documented incidents in the school, and that's not including his daily activities within the school, his engagement with students. That's just incidents that were investigated that typically a patrol officer would do. We were able to secure grant funding through a COPS grant that's going to allow us to continue this for several years. When we work out all the details, the school's going to pay a little bit, the police department's going to cover a little bit, the grant will cover a little bit. So we don't foresee this position going anywhere. And I think the school would highly agree with that. So it is very positive for us, and obviously during the day that we've had to call upon him to help us out. Sergeant Clayton recently completed certification to become a forensic phlebotomist, which is a very critical asset in drug-related OUIs. So now she can draw her own blood after she does her DRE evaluation. The DARE program was again a big success, and that is continuing this year with Officer Edson teaching it in both Millinocket as well as in the Medway School Department. The last thing I have is I truly want to thank the town manager, the town council, not only for the continued support. However, and it's my belief, the town manager may disagree, but it is my belief that over the last year, the working relationship between the town manager and myself has definitely strengthened. We talk very frequently. Obviously, we worked a lot together on the new ordinance in town. So I think that working relationship has greatly improved the last 12, 18 months. So I'm very thankful for that, and I look forward to that continuing. And lastly, I also want to say the same for the fire department, where this last year has been challenging for many instances, obviously, and then our collaboration for the Millinocket Marathon, the relationship between the two departments has flourished in the last year, and we are doing so much more together now than we ever did before. So that's another very positive note as we move into 2026. Any questions on any of that?
I would
Just trying to like rapid fire for you guys.
I would just like to say, I concur.
Oh, thank you.
say from an outside perspective, I would say that we were having this conversation 2 years ago, it would probably be a different story, but he's spoken very highly of
Yeah.
you guys' work in the
and-
relationship.
I mean, there's been some late night phone calls. And like I've told them, my phone's always on. I'll even answer it on the weekends and after hours. And honestly, some of it has been good because we've been able to take care of some things that I didn't have to wait fester. So, so I apologize. The statistics for 2025 were done at the 11th hour. But I believe that the manager got them to you. I wanted you guys to kind of be able to digest them in case you had questions. I'm not going to obviously go through every single thing. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights, but for some of the newer counselors, so they can understand what that document entails. Obviously, the front page is pretty cut and dry. The subsequent pages, you see the two columns. Reported offenses are what the call comes into us as. Observed offenses are the offenses that when the officer investigates these calls for service, what we observe and what's entailed. So for example, you could go to one call and you charge someone with multiple things, or there's different offenses involved. That's why the observed offenses is a higher number, because that is a more accurate representation of what the officers dealt with and investigated in 2025. So we did see a decrease in calls for service this year compared to last year. In looking at this, a lot of it is attributed to if you all recall, the Lamson Funeral Home case that took place in 2024, which resulted in hundreds of calls. And a lot of our numbers are very similar this year, with the exception of we took away that big chunk of hundreds of calls. So that, to me, looking at everything, that is probably what led to the decrease.
Brad, before you go on, if you remove that from the equation, how would we look? Would it be pretty comparable or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Obviously, as you can see, Millinocket is still by far our highest call volume. I mean, it's almost 3 times Millinocket in what we do in Medway. So property crimes, this is a big thing. It declined in 2025. Your property crimes are really your vehicle-related theft, burglaries, thefts, and I believe, if I remember correctly, in 2025 we only had 2 burglaries, which is that's a very positive statistic for a police department. I mean, a lot of things come into play with that. So overall, there was a decrease, thefts, shoplifting, motor vehicle thefts. There was a small increase in general thefts, which is just miscellaneous property, but a low amount. Unfortunately, we did see a sharp decrease in our drug offenses, so our drug charges, which is a very, very positive sign because, as you know, for the last several years, we have been very proactive in our drug enforcement. So looking at that, it appears that that has been some sort of success if we're seeing a decrease in drug crimes. However, we did see an increase this year in drug overdoses. So that is still an area that obviously it's plaguing our entire nation. It's not just this region. I wish we never saw an increase, but based on all indicators that we see, unfortunately, we're going to continue to deal with this for a very long time. We did see an increase in domestic violence related calls from last year. Again, that is a continuing trend nationwide. A overall decrease in assaults, which is another very positive indication of crime trends, and alcohol related offenses. Very sharp decrease. That is also a very positive statistic because we saw, and if you also look in comparison to 2024, we had 41 juvenile arrest or citations, and this year we only had 17. That's very positive. A lot of those are related to alcohol offenses. So where we're seeing a sharp decrease in alcohol offenses, we're seeing a decrease in juvenile charges. It's positive. We're hopeful, even more so with having the school resource officer in place, the DARE programming continuing, that we will see a decrease in these. And we did see a decrease in mental health related incidents, which that one kind of surprised me, honestly, because it seems from the, in the daily work that we are plagued with dealing with mental health related calls more frequently. However, the statistics show that there has been a decrease. So stats don't lie. So that is positive as well. And obviously with things going on in at the hospital in Millinocket, when that project is completed, that's going to be a big help to our agency and hopefully help dealing with some of these mental health related incidents. Any questions on any of that?
Anyone from the council?
So obviously, as far as the statistics, I know that sometimes there's some questions on what does this mean? I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you guys have on any of these calls. What this call type means, or exactly what it is. But overall, I mean, that's the general nuts and bolts of what the year looked like for our call.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to go back to when you first started out. Did I hear you right? You almost have a full roster. You just need to hire one more person. We just
Correct.
What did I hear?
Yes. We have one conditional offer out, which we've started ordering equipment. So that's it's a conditional based on some factors that I won't disclose right now. Nothing negative factors, but just some things that they're working out in their professional career. And then once they're able to start, we will be full staffed, and that is with the school resource officer as well.
Thank you.
Obviously Sergeant Clayton is currently on light duty, which has actually been a little bit of a blessing because we had, when COVID hit and the courts became extremely backlogged, our case folders range back almost 6 years that we're going through to get dispositions from the courts and everything else so we can take care of these. So that's a lot of the stuff that she's been trying to get caught up on and among some other things. So yes, it's, she's not working patrol. However, it's been a little bit of a blessing with trying to get some of this clerical stuff caught up that we haven't been able to you know, with being short staffed and everything, but it is nice that we are almost in a position where we can be fully staffed.
Counselor Gould.
First and foremost, when I saw the amount of observed offenses, I was flabbergasted in a community this small. So I guess my question is, and first of all, Officer Edson and Officer Frank have just become, I mean, for the youth in this community have become, I dare say, like rock stars. They really have. And I've seen the interaction with them in public and away from the schools. And it's been phenomenal. But I guess my question is, do you think you'd be better served if you had more administrative help so that you could have the officers out more?
Yes and no. I think truly once we could get caught up, we're starting to get things streamlined. Obviously, with the addition of body cams, it was a lot of we talked to some other agencies, but it's hard. Like if I go talk to the Bangor Police Department about how they operate their body cams, it's way different because they have 20 officers on a shift. We have 2. So, and then some other agencies, you know, they have cruiser cams, body cams, and everything else. So there's so many factors. But I think once we've started to build the system, we are in a good place now. We've learned some tips and tricks. Fortunately, we've made a little more work for the district attorney's office, but they want this video, so we're providing them the video. So I think once we get caught up, we will be in a good place administratively. Honestly, some of the biggest help would be just having patrol guys back on the streets. Because then like me, I can focus more on some of the administrative duties, if not as much, you know, have to, you know, cover shifts, because there's many times where I, you know, come in and work and I get started on something and then I gotta get a call away for a call coming back, and it's just back. So I think once, you know, our patrol staffing is back up to par, we'll be in a really good spot in that aspect.
To your point, just want to add, I disagree. I think all the officers are fantastic. It's sad when, I shouldn't say sad, it's actually fantastic that I know most, if not all, the cops on a first name basis. Seeing them at events, Touch a Truck, Trails End Festival, Officer Lakeman in the dog tank. You know, they get actively involved with the community. The DARE program is back. So not only do I know who they are, but you know, my son is starting to know who they are and he's 4. Or my nephew who's in the school knows most of them and, you know, goes up, shakes their hand, gives them a hug. I think that's fantastic. You know, we haven't seen that in years. So to be able to say that today, I think is an outstanding turn of events for Millinocket and in the community. So that's partially on.
And I think the biggest thing is, you know, as we've talked about so many times, we all need to remember, and like you alluded to earlier, these 3 towns now working together so much more collaboratively has been such a huge blessing in many aspects. But, you know, just because, you know, like we have an officer that typically is assigned to the town of Millinocket, and that's who they see most frequent. It doesn't matter, because if there's a call up here and it requires 2, 3, 4 of us, we're all coming. Whereas, you know, things previously, it was 1 or 2 people. Now, you know, when the marathon, I think we had 9 of our own police officers that were there from our department. You know, I kind of make it, that's a mandatory day. Everybody's working whether they like it or not. You know, and then like you said, the community events, you know, just having that ability to have so many officers that can attend these events, you know, and vice versa. You know, when things go on in Medway or things go on in East Millinocket, we can all move around to make sure that we're getting the job done. And we're starting to see that more, you know, with the fire departments and everything else, because the only way we're going to survive is we've got to do this all together. That's the only way public safety up here is going to make it.
Any other council comments? We'll go down to the public if anybody has a question on the presentation. Oh, we got one. Name and address, please.
Okay, hi, my name is Ghost Barco, 22 Maple Street. You mentioned Officer Frank, we all know that as first name basis. I just wanted to give him a little more recognition. As a senior this year, I mean, I've never seen that in school. It's still pretty new to us, but it's pretty awesome having someone like Officer Frank there. It's really easy to get to know him. I wanted to. I mean, I've never heard it bad or everyone just loves there.
It's awesome. Very good.
That's great.
Sounds like he deserves the recognition.
He does. But I think it's easy, and I think Councilor McLaughlin would probably agree with this.
Oh, it sounds like she's.
No, I think she would agree. It truly is, yes, he's a police officer, but it's almost like we took a student and put him in with the students. Like, he just has that personality that he could get along with a brick wall. And
If I may, are you saying that, that he is a child?
sometimes we have to.
It's going on the record.
Sometimes we gotta, but he really, it has been a blessing, and we are very fortunate to have been able to add this to the department.
I think that with all your officers, like I said, there's quite a few that all of them deserve that.
Yeah.
That exemplary comment. So any other council comments or public comments? Mr. Manager.
Going back to, the stronger presence, the three towns together and the officers on patrol in different towns working together regardless of where the call came in. I was working quite late one night back in December, and I sent a message to Corporal Fitzgerald. 8:32 p.m. I said, geez, I go to get in my truck and there's 3 cruisers at the town office and the booking room light is on. I said, that can't be good. And he said, and to think 3 cars are there, and this was later, of course, after the fact. 3 cars are there. 2 of them are on the dime of the other towns, right? So each town pays into the service that the police department collectively provides to our region. And regardless, they come together to respond to whatever the need is at that moment. And, I see it a lot. I know other people see it a lot. And, it's pretty awesome.
Couldn't agree more. Last shot. Anyone else? All right, thank you, Corporal Fitzgerald.
I beat my tongue.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did.
Worked hard for that.
Thank you again. We look forward to your next quarterly presentation. All right, moving on. We have nothing under old business. We're going right into new business. Town manager's report says none, but I'm 99% certain he has one.
Oh, yeah, no, I have one. It's
All right.
quite a few pages.
Take it away.
I'm gonna stick to the front page and highly recommend that all go to millinocket.org, town manager's page, and look at the archive. The complete report is always there. And there's a lot of wonderful and detailed information that includes the entire operation and all departments. Few notes from me. We are, knee deep in the FY27 municipal budget process. We've jumped into that pool head first, and we're working diligently on that. Something we take very seriously. We map it out with goals and objectives, and it's quite a roller coaster through the process. Surprises and tracking revenues and that whole thing. But we're ahead of schedule at the moment, and we expect the full schedule has been shared with, the entire staff and or administrative staff and the council. And that will be distributed to the public as we get closer to those meeting dates. But we're going to be very well prepared for workshops throughout the latter half of March and into April. Two special hearings in April, and we would be planning to seek adoption of that budget on April 23rd as things stand now. This is something we take very seriously. It is, probably, it is the most critical piece of our administrative work throughout the year. This 3 or 4 month timeline is when some of us have 2 full-time jobs. It's the day-to-day and the budget work. So it's an exciting time of the year. I said goodbye to my wife a couple of weeks ago. She said, see you in May. So very, very excited to be doing that and plenty more updates to come. This would normally be the meeting where I would do our quarterly financial update. However, we would like to finalize our request for carry forward so we can have more, so we can have the most accurate information to share. So there is an order on the agenda this evening. And then I've chosen to move that financial update to our next meeting on February 12th. When we can have all of that information processed and reflect actual numbers. So we will look forward to that. I am seeking some advice this evening on one of the 4 properties that we have successfully cleaned up and made safe and ready for distribution or build or whatever we may decide to do with that. This one is 143 Medway Road. This does not fall under a couple of the other more common legal situations with other properties. So we were able to do that outside of dangerous buildings. We were able to do that outside of tax acquired property. So we have more options on how we can dispose of that property or offload that property. The 3 options I am suggesting are, as the town has done in the past, giving first refusal to a neighboring or abutting property owner. We can list the property on the real estate market to reach a wider audience. And, we do have an official relationship with local real estate agent Jimmy Plourde, who was awarded that bid through the council a couple of years ago. And then we do have the option to put that property out to bid, similar to what used to be the tax acquired property process. It would be a sealed bid that would be, opened, at a set date in my office, open to the public, and then documented and all information given to the council to award that bid at the following council meeting. A related note, I have been contacted by a woman by the name of Mrs. Robinson, who had previously owned that property and the neighboring property, which she, I guess, has sold to her grandson. And she has expressed that she has interest in moving back from somewhere more off grid, I guess, than that location, and building a home there. Just to side piece of information there to consider. And that is where I will wrap up this evening. So I'll seek feedback on what direction you'd like to take on offloading that property, and then of course any and all questions or comments on the contents of the remainder of that report.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. I'm gonna go right in order of counselor, so I'm gonna start with Counselor Pelletier.
Well, regarding that property,
Can you get on your mic there? Thanks.
hear me now.
Oh, yeah.
I like the idea of the precedence that we've done is always offering it to an abutting owner. Given the size of the lots in Millinocket, if an abutter gets it, it makes their property that much more saleable, livable. Other than that, I would say put it out to bid to the general public, given we'll never recover the money we put into demolishing the building.
Not all of it. But what a great investment, right?
Counselor Gould.
Clean it up.
Likewise, I would agree to put it out to a bid for the public.
Counselor Mackin.
Yeah, put out for the public.
Counselor Riley.
I just gonna join the group here. I think it's best for us to put it out to a bid, see how much we can recover.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
A really bad headache.
Good excuse. I would agree with what, Councilor Pelletier said first, that we first offer it to the neighbor. That's my first choice.
Counselor Danforth.
Yeah, I'm in the same mind of what we our practice prior to the new tax acquired law that we had to follow, that we offered it to an abutting neighbor first. And so that would be my recommendation, that if that neighbor then, the person that's potentially interested in it doesn't want it, then it would go out to bid at first to the adjacent property owner.
I have a couple of questions. First question being, having a very hard time with my memory right now. Did we change our bid process? I know we had one a while ago that caused some disturbances, and we talked about changing our bid process. We had an ordinance. Did we ever do that to go with the highest bidder?
I don't remember off the top of my head if that was ever finalized. It was very shortly after that.
We never did finalize it.
Did that, we did adopt all the state statutes that.
It was-
Iris put it up, sale.
It-
If we can't acquire it.
Right. Okay. Second question.
Can I answer that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, it was very shortly after that incident where, or that particular bid that comes to mind, that the new state laws around tax acquired properties were implemented and that we had to adapt to. So I believe that would be why we, hadn't put that into action. And the only real bids that we had done prior to the new tax acquired rules were tax acquired properties. So we didn't have a real need to change that bid process. But if that is something the council would like to have done, we can certainly make that happen.
Second question, more of a comment rather than a question. If we did decide to go with a bid, could we kind of could we get an opinion on what the value of the property would be my first one. That way, when we go out to bid, we have an understanding of approximately what that property is worth, even if it is just land.
Yeah, of course. I could, consult with more knowledgeable people in the real estate market. We could even, technically hire an appraiser of the lot. As we could also put in a minimum bid.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so that we, know exactly, what our target is, and, hopefully that would be that.
Perfect. And then that kind of leads into my third one. If we did end up getting that value, possibly putting a minimum bid requirement in, so we do recruit some of that money. I know this has come up in question in the past, and I think it happened with this particular property, but we can put rules around adding value to that property in a certain set amount of time, or I just don't want to see it just going to nothing. I know we've had situations in the past where people have taken tax acquired properties out of bid, and they're doing nothing with them. I'm just afraid that that may happen again if we do end up deciding to go to it. Can we establish those rules with this particular? We can.
Yes, we can write those into the deed, before that is transferred. And the difference between now and then is, the dedication of our administrative staff to see those through. And having, a great assessor, a great code enforcement officer, and a town manager that, doesn't let things like that just simmer away. So, the success of gaining ownership of this particular property came from a deed restriction that was implemented nearly 10 years ago, that had been neglected all of that time. So the methods are built into these transactions and the legal documentation when the transfer of ownership happens. It's just keeping an eye on it and making sure that those are seen through.
So I guess I'll defer back to the council. Does anyone have any objections to Peter finding out how much the property is valued at? Well, okay. And then I guess from there we can decide if we want to go to the real estate market or put it out to bid. All right. The only other question that I have, and it's more of a comment, is on the fire department. Saw a wonderful post today. Driving home with my wife, and she's scrolling Facebook and stuff from the fire department, that there is still plenty of fire extinguishers that can be swapped out. So if you guys have any old fire extinguishers that need to, bless you, that need to be brought in and swapped out, the fire department is still doing that. Unless I'm mistaken, that's still good. All right, perfect. All right, any other counselor comments, questions on the minutes?
Also on the fire department, I'll just jump in sometimes. One thing that I've been meaning to include in these reports lately is actually something that Beverly, our treasurer, brought to my attention recently. Though we have had a dedicated full-time staff responsible for grants throughout the town, Chief Cody by himself within his department has in the last year brought in I want to say a little over $80,000 to his department for various gear and training and that sort of thing over multiple grants. So that certainly deserves some recognition.
100%. Thank you for all the hard work you do. I know we say it to every order that you bring up, but for those of you that were unaware of him doing that, he's been an asset. So thank you so much for everything you've done. All right, one more time. Any other council comments? Down to the public. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Just one quick comment on the last page on the code enforcement permit summary page. When it says year to date, that's fiscal year to date, not calendar year to date, correct?
Correct. Yes, we started back at 0 in July.
Okay. So we just make that correction on the, because it says calendar.
Oh,
And
yep.
I looked at it and then I was like, that can't be right.
Yep. I've been doing a lot of copy and pasting, changing the numbers in the
Okay,
grid
yeah.
and haven't caught that.
Okay.
Thanks for pointing that out.
So just to confirm, we've only done $844 since July,
Since December.
December. Okay, perfect.
So, if you look
I
at,
see now. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, since July 1st, we've successfully had 193 permits totaling, a revenue to offset the expense of that department of nearly $17,000, which is, if you combine the last 40 years of code enforcement in Millinocket, that far exceeds it.
Thank you.
It's
Any public comments?
remarkable.
Questions? Seeing none. All right, moving on. At this point in time, we are getting ready to enter a public hearing. Again, call out if you are still here at this point. There's a sign up sheet. I'm assuming it's on the podium now. Please sign in before we go into our public hearing. All right, the time is 6:38. We are officially in public hearing. Councilor Pelletier, can I have you read ordinance number 1-2026?
Order ordinance number 1-2026. Providing for an adoption of chapter 51 disorderly property of the code of the town of Millinocket. Be it ordained by the town council of the town of Millinocket that the attached disorderly property ordinance is hereby adopted as chapter 51 of the Millinocket code. It is further ordained that the town clerk make appropriate changes to incorporate this chapter into the Millinocket code and distribute new pages to all persons known to have a copy of the code. It is further ordered that this ordinance take effect 30 days after enactment.
Motion made by Councilor Pelletier, seeking a second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Danforth. I'm going to immediately defer to the manager and Corporal Fitzgerald again.
Rock, paper, scissors.
You go ahead. You said your name first.
Yeah, same ordinance, same content. I would, as we had discussed, at least at the administrative level, that we had intended to remove the mention of fire rules through here. I'd seek confirmation on that from Brad and the chief, but at one point it was felt to be redundant where those are also laws and ordinances that are enforceable separate. So if they agree, continue to agree, I would recommend that a generic amendment be.
Which section is it?
It's a couple of them. I had removed several, and I'm noticing I've missed a few. So a generic amendment, if chosen or recommended, would be to remove mention of certain fire chief or fire related offenses from this ordinance itself.
I will make a motion to amend ordinance number 1-2026 to remove any fire related
Language.
references in this document.
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Councilor Runyon. Councilor comments on the amendment. Seeing none, down to the public. This is just on the amendment. Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment? It's unanimous. All right, now, I believe I may seek one more amendment. There would have been, trying to remember what section that was in. Councilor Runyon, do you remember the section we discussed that looked as though the sentence hadn't ended?
It is 51-9D.
Yes, I think in the official copy that was sent out for the special hearing, I've made some of those corrections since. That should be amended to the end of that sentence should be action under subsection 5112. And then, there are a few places where the capital letter X just needs to be referenced to the chapter 51, but that's minor administrative corrections that could be made.
So would your amendment could we pass the order with the understanding that the administrative corrections need to be done?
Sure.
Okay.
It's really just references to the chapter of the code book, so.
Okay. Correct me one more time on how we're gonna do this. Or what would be the correct verbiage?
With the understanding that chapter references will be updated within the, current ordinance or draft.
Do we need to make a motion on that?
I would say yes.
Okay. I will make a motion that we pass ordinance number 1-2026 with the understanding that the chapter references will be updated in the final draft.
Second.
Motion again made by Councilor Bragdon.
Just to be clear, that doesn't change any context or content to the ordinance, just
Seconded by Councilor.
minor edits.
All right, all those, any public comment before we move on? Seeing none, all right. Back to ordinance number 1-2026 with passing the order with the understanding that the chapter references will be updated. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you again for all your hard work. Huh? Yes, we are officially at a public hearing at 6:45. Thank you. Moving on to order number 13-2026, Council Gould, can I have your read, please?
Thank you, Chair. Order 13-2026, providing for execution of town warrant for January 22nd, 2026. It is ordered that the town warrant for January 22nd, 2026, in the amount of $72,623.88 is hereby approved.
Second.
Motion made by Council Gould, seconded by Council McGowan. Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. Got Bangor Savings Bank for $4,917.90. Todd and Area Television for $3,000. Todd and True Value for $2,926.03. Municipal Waste Solutions LLC for $6,569.19. New England Salt Company LLC for $8,196.99. Preble Oil Company for $4,793.30. Savi and Mare Engineers Incorporated for $12,018.82. And finally, Versant Power for $14,435.83.
And Councilor comments. Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 13-2. We're in favor, unanimous. Sorry, I thought Councilor Peltier had a comment, but he voted a little early. All right, Councilor Mackin, can I have you read order number 14, please?
Order number 14-2026, providing for execution of the wastewater warrant for January 22nd, 2026. It is ordered that the wastewater warrant for January 22nd, 2026 in the amount of $29,957.62 is hereby approved.
Motion made by Councilor Mackin, seconded
Five
by Councilor Pelletier. Go ahead.
$5,977.52 is town of Millinocket, and $22,729.35 Versant Power.
Any other councilor comments? Down to the public? Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 14-2026? Unanimous. All right, Counselor Runyon, can I have you read order number 15, please?
Order 15-2026, providing for approval of carry forward fiscal year 25 unspent general fund budget item. It is ordered that the town of Millinocket Council approves the carry forward of $82,446.63 for the following unspent FY 25 budget items. May I read all those?
Yes, please.
Okay, council at $55,400, assessing outside services, $8,500, assessing maps, $3,250, economic development of $30,187.75, supplies and tools for $1,436.64, vehicle maintenance at $6,548.89, uniforms for $895.91, building maintenance for $8,383. Oh man, I'm gonna get it, I promise. $8,338.68 and paint and supplies for $17,888.76.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion made by Counselor Runyon, seconded by Counselor Danforth. Can we get a rereading of that?
No.
Any council comments? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing-
Did you get all-
Seeing none. All those in favor of order number 15-2026? Unanimous. Counselor McGuire, can I have you read order number 16-2026?
Order number 16-2026, providing for approval of carry forward FY 25 unspent wastewater budget items. It is ordered that the Millinocket Town Council approves the carry forward of $60,079.49 for the following unspent FY 25 budget items. Capital improvement plant repairs for $25,302.52 and wastewater capital improvement sewer repairs for $34,776.97.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor McGuire, seconded by Counselor Danforth. Counselor comments? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 16-2026? Unanimous. Order number 17-2026, Counselor Danforth, can I have you read that one,
Yes,
please?
Mr. Chairman, providing for authorization to enter critical care transportation service agreement with Lifelight of Maine. It is ordered that the Millinocket Town Council approves the attached critical care transportation service agreement with Lifelight of Maine. It is further ordered that the town manager and or the fire chief EMA director are authorized to execute and submit the attached agreement and any related documents.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Danforth, seconded by Counselor McGuire. Counselor comments? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 17-2026? Unanimous. Order number 19. Oop, I am missing order number 18. Thank you. Order number 18-2026, I will read it myself. Order number 18-2026, providing for approval of position description and job posting for part-time recreation director. Whereas the Millinocket Town Council wishes to create a part-time recreation director position to oversee the management of Millinocket recreation facilities and work collaboratively with neighboring recreation departments on continuing regional recreation programming. It is ordered that the attached job description, job posting, and budget are approved, and the town manager is directed to advertise and hire for this position. It is further ordered that the town treasurer is authorized to reallocate funding from expense line 1002-2101 to the appropriate corresponding lines with the expense department 1002-recreation for those wages and related expenses.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Bragdon, seconded by Counselor McGowan. Before we get into this, Counselor McGowan had a conversation with me earlier today, and it was a very well thought out process. So I had the manager put together what the position would look like with not only $20 an hour, but $25 an hour. So you should all have that handout. And then some counselors had said that they would also like to see what I'm looking for, a range of based on experience, job qualifications, et cetera, et cetera. which we can jump into in just a minute. I'm gonna give the manager just a second to talk about the position and where, and how we came up with 20 an hour and anything else related to the document. Bud?
The position, described in this order, I put together, given input and recommendations from, the council, on, individual conversations and feedback, you know, spanning quite a bit of time. The initial pay rate for a part-time position, was certainly a starting point, to show the council, what could be done within, within the current budgeted amount for those services, without, impacting, our budgeted spending. As the council knows, my original recommendation to, consider over time was full-time. This is this follows the direction of the council. And as more planning goes into this, I come to agree, with this and, part of the, wage or hourly rate, recommendations between this and what, was recommended for me to put together for further consideration this evening comes from the fact that it is a part-time position, which, does not include health benefits. If I think if you were to look at the comparison between, a full-time position with, it'd be mandatory to offer those, benefits. It would add, ballpark $35,000 on top of the salary. And this is something we can do to get started and put things in motion within our current budget.
So thank you for the clarification on that. I will add that there was a lot of discussion during our last public meeting with should we do part-time or full-time, and the community said they didn't feel there was enough work for a full-time person. So this is kind of our approach to it. Me and Peter, when we discussed this, decided to talk about doing part-time first, seeing what the council felt tonight, and then reconvene in a little bit of time once we have time to establish if there is more work that is needed. So if 6 months to a year from now, we can talk to Peter and say, hey, where are we at? Is it too much? Is it too little? We can then discuss and see about extending this to a full-time position. I thought that was a good compromise based on the discussions that we had with the community a couple months ago. Any counselor comments or questions? Counselor Gold.
I think it's a perfect vetting process to make that segue and see the right candidate get in there to make it a full-time position in the future.
Perfect. Your opinion on the 25 an hour and 20 an hour
I think is more than appropriate for this area.
for a range?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Council Pelletier.
I guess I just need clarification on, that, we're talking hourly rate. But will it still be an exempt position, or are we talking that at this first?
We would reconvene in, like I said, like a year from now.
It's example. An exempt position paid on 1099. an employee. And all that stuff. Or if he owning them hourly rate and like any other staff.
I guess I'll defer to the manager on that.
Yeah, this would be a regular part-time employee, not a contracted stipend
Okay.
position.
So would the thinking be when it becomes a full-time, that it'd be a man level? That position?
Well, it would be the creation of a new position, so it would, you know, my recommendation at that time would likely be to add to an administrative level, or add an administrative level, salaried position.
That's fine, that's yes.
Any other council comments?
Answer my question.
That was the answer to your question? Okay.
It will transition a salary employee versus our.
But it won't, because it would be a new position, from part-time to full-time, from hourly to salary, it would need to be reposted, you know, interviews, the whole nine, but yes,
So it's yes and no, it's basically,
sure.
yeah. I get where you're going with it.
Okay.
Any other council comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yeah, I'll make a comment as well, as like, I agree, an agreement to start part-time, see how it goes, if we need a full-time position, and the salary range. I know with this order, it started off at 20, and then you have the figures here for $25. So if we include that there's a range depending on the candidate.
Do we need to make a motion to amend?
I would think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I will make a motion that we amend the pay to $20-$25 an hour for a range. Seeking a second.
Second. Experience.
Yeah, dependent on experience and knowledge to be determined by the manager.
Now,
Motion made by Council Bragdon, seconded by Council Runyon. Comments on the amendment. Mr. Manager, you had a comment? Any comments on the amendment? Being none, down to the public, I see we have one on Zoom.
that's not on the amendment.
Sandy, do you have any comments on just the amendment? Okay, perfect. Seeing none, back to voting on the amendment. All those in favor? It's unanimous. All right. Any other council comments on the order as amended? Mr. Manager.
I'm not a counselor, just want to make sure that's clear. You know, so just to know, just so that those following along, know what that range is, you know, within, with the budget presented in the council packet at $20 an hour at 28 hours per week, the total compensation package equals out to $35,836.41. With the on the higher end of the range at $25 an hour, 28 hours, total compensation package is $44,651.76. So you can see on the lower end, it's within what we currently budget. On the higher end, it's you know, about $5,000 increase to that department. One additional point I would like to make is, you know, should this pass and should we, you know, get, you know, good applications and fill the position, a future order I would like to present for consideration would be to increase the youth programming line within our budget, you know, to currently, all of the programming budget or a big majority of the programming budget within the region is held within the East Millinocket municipal budget and raised by their taxpayers. So I would like to recommend that we increase by, $5,000, even $10,000 in that area to help offset the cost for operating those programs, speaking to the partnership with the expectation that all three rec directors will be, one team working, on programming together while maintaining their own assets.
I will add to that. There was an email chain. I know I talked to you all individually about the email and letter I sent to the administrator and the chair of the select board for East Millinocket. We got a very positive response back, actually. They were very much in favor of working together with us, and it looks like we're going to be moving forward with creating a recreational board. I've already reached out to Medway's administrator, and they are all in favor of it, as is East Millinocket. So we are looking to schedule a date to start brainstorming how we're going to do this next month. We're just waiting on a date from the administrator of East Millinocket, and then we'll pitch the date to Medway, and we'll get together. So just wanted to bring that news together, that for those that were concerned about collaboration issues and the whole regionalization being torn apart, that's not happening. It's actually strengthening. It's very positive, and I'm happy to say that East Millinocket is happy to work with us still. So
Good. Very good.
any other councilor comments? Yes.
So I just wanted to clarify, so the money you're talking about putting in the youth program would be budgeted for next fiscal year? Or would we need to do that now, where I'm guessing like most of that programming would happen after July?
Well, yes and no. Part of the expectation within this, Millinocket specific position is that they provide support and partnership for the volunteer run sports programs, which currently don't have funding or any budget. So, I have used my manager's donation line, for example, to help, like buy supplies for the field hockey program, like what we've done over the last couple of years. And I think that between increasing funds to help with those programs, plus the, existing regional recreation programs, the dances, the other basketball and sports programs and whatever else happens, it would be good. So if you look at current budget, year to date, out of the $39,803, we've spent 33 and change out of that. If we were to hire this position at the $20,000 range, is what I worked the math out previously, we would have a need for a little over $18,000 if we were to hire by February 1st and pay, full monthly expenses to the end of the fiscal year. We would be right around $18,000, which would leave us something like $13,000 within this fiscal budget. So we could reallocate within that department to the youth programming to help with the spring programming, and then we would just plan to increase that line for the FY27 budget.
Thank you.
Any other council comments? Seeing none, I am going to go down to the public. I do have a letter from someone that or a text message that was sent to me that was asked to be read tonight, but I will go to Ms. Sullivan first on this.
Hi, Sandy Sullivan, 104 Sunset Drive. I'm totally lost. Is this a position that is in addition to our contract with East Millinocket or instead of our contract with East Millinocket.
We have not had a
Ouch.
contract with East Millinocket since July of 2025.
I know you haven't, but you've been back paying them
No, we haven't.
on a
We have not
monthly,
been. We have
on
not
a
been paying
monthly
them, no.
basis. The last time I listened, it was approved to back pay.
No, we only, Miss Sullivan, we only paid 2 months and they never agreed to sign the MOU for a monthly basis. So we have not been paying them. We paid them for those 2 months and that was it.
And so we do not have a recreation director at this time. Is
That
that
is
what?
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We did have a meeting with East Millinocket here in council chambers. They were gonna go back and discuss it with their select board. And once we clarified what the expectations of the MOU were, Councilor Danforth at the time was chair. She did a fantastic job leading that negotiations and discussion. They chose not to sign the MOU. We paid them for 2 months of recreation services before they stopped, and then we haven't had anything since. So just to clarify, as much as we would love to have a contract, we can't go without one, right? So there's been a lot of ask for recreation services in Millinocket. We have had multiple discussions about what to do, and this was the agreement that we decided to do was potentially look at a part-time position and see if it would work out. And East Millinocket's been very supportive via email about doing this, and I'm very positive with the direction that we're moving.
No, that's great. It's just I'm not privy to all of your back and forth emails. And I was not aware. I knew that paying them for 2 months back had been approved. I was not aware, and I don't believe it was said anywhere in public, that we no longer had a contract with East Millinocket or anticipated it. So I was not aware that you, or I don't think the rest of the public, you don't have to tell just me. And so I was confused if this was in addition to or instead of.
No, 100%. I think we've talked about it maybe once or twice. It wasn't very often. And I think both those nights you weren't here. I think that was a discussion we had I know that you had some computer problems that meeting we discussed.
I beg to differ with that. I'm at every one of the meetings, Matt, and you know it. Thank
Okay,
you.
Ms. Sullivan. So anyway, I'm gonna read the letter I received. Give me just 1 second to pull it out. Mr. Chairman, honorable council members, it's a pleasure for me to address you for order number 18-2026, providing for the approval of position description and job posting for part-time rec director. I strongly encourage the council to unanimously support this order. I'm encouraged to see this continue from the hard work last year that the prior council put forth, showing good faith, effort, and transparency and trying to cooperate with neighboring towns. I believe this is the best course of action for the citizens and children of Millinocket. As a citizen of Millinocket, I fully endorse this order. Thank you for reading the statement, staying the course, and doing what's best interest of your constituents. You are much appreciated. Sincerely, Jesse Dumais, citizen of Millinocket.
10 Somerset Street.
10 Somerset Street. All right, any other public comments? Hello again.
Hello again. Ghost Croco, 22 Maple Street. I guess I didn't know when we stopped having a recreation department. But it definitely, I do think Millinocket needs it. And as like a resident child in Millinocket, not a lot of us, especially during the summer months, have a lot of things to do in town. It kind of gets a lot of kids get in trouble and everything because we just don't know what to do. I think having these okay. I think having recreation department and everything gives us something, positive to do, something to do with our time. And it's really kind of just saying
Awesome. I appreciate the comment. Thank you for stepping up. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll go back to the council one more time. Any comments? Seeing none. All right. All those in favor of order number 18-2026. It's unanimous. All right. Order number 19-2026. Councilor Pelletier, can I have you read that one, please?
Order number 19-2026, providing for authorization to enter airport lease agreement with Noise Enterprises. It is ordered that the Millinocket Town Council authorizes the town manager to sign the attached lease agreement between the town of Millinocket and Stephen Noise, doing business as Noise Enterprises, 22 Noise Lane, Brownville, Maine, 04414.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Pelletier, seconded by Councilor Runyon. Any councilor comments on the order? Seeing none, down to, oh, Councilor Pelletier.
Just want to congratulate Jeff on the lease agreement, and it's the first of many.
Right, down to the public. Anything from you, Jeff? I love hearing airport updates.
Huh.
They are great.
They're always good. 2 minutes is ticking.
Jeff Campbell, Airport Manager. This is actually a lease renewal. This has been a tenant out there for approximately 15 years now. We were doing these lease agreements before it became a town department. So we have kept these leases going in these hangars full of airplanes, and this is a business that restores military aircraft. So he's been out there for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, any other public comment? Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 19-2026? Unanimous. Councilor Gould, can I have you read order number 20-2026?
It's order number 20-2026, providing for acceptance of snowmobile trail maintenance grant from the Maine Department of Conservation. It is ordered that the approval is granted to accept the 2025-2026 Twin Pines Snowmobile Club Award from the Maine Department of Conservation Snowmobile Program Municipal Grant and Aid Agreement. The total award is $55,300. In addition to this, the town of Millinocket will pay Twin Pines Snowmobile Club $21,600 to assist with grooming.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Gould, seconded by Councilor McWallen. Any councilor comments? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 20-2026? Unanimous. Councilor Mackin, can I have you read order number 21, please?
Order number 21-2026, providing for acceptance of snowmobile trail maintenance grant from the Maine Department of Conservation. It is ordered that the approval is granted to accept the 2025-2026 Northern Timber Cruises Snowmobile Club Award from the Maine Department of Conservation Snowmobile Program Municipal Grant and Aid Agreement. The award total is $12,740. In addition to this, the town of Millinocket will pay Northern Timber Cruises Snowmobile Club $2,400 to assist with the grooming.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Mackin, seconded by Councilor Danforth. Any councilor comments? Seeing none, down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 21-2026? Unanimous. Councilor Runyon, can I have you read order number 22, please?
Of course. Order number 22-2026, providing for acceptance of snowmobile trail maintenance grant from the Maine Department of Conservation. It is ordered that approval is granted to accept the 2025 to 2026 EVME Snowmobile Club Award from the Maine Department of Conservation Snowmobile Program Municipal Grant and Aid Agreement. The total award is $12,600.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Runyon, seconded by Councilor Gould. Any councilor comments? Seeing none, I just want to thank the snowmobile clubs for all their hard work. Anybody who's ever groomed a trail, it's not easy. It's hard. So thank you for all your hard work. It's one of those things in the community that we're well known for is snowmobiling. So thank you for all the hard work that you put into it. Down to the public. Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 22? Yeah, it was. Councilor McWallen, can I have you read order number 23?
Yes, order number 23-2026, providing for acceptance of Maine Forest Service Volunteer Fire Assistance Grant. It is ordered that the Millinocket Town Council accepts this grant totaling $755 from the Maine Forest Service Volunteer Fire Assistance Grant Program, with an equal share in the amount of $755 of local matching funds to be allocated from the following budget lines: 0203-2008 Tools and Equipment Replacement, 0205-2052 Uniforms. Note, these funds will provide the following equipment for our fire department: assortment of wildland personal protective equipment, assortment of wildland hand tools and saw, and collapsible backpacked water pumps.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Wallen, seconded by Councilor Danforth. Any councilor comments? Seeing none, down to the public.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update and also appreciate the support of you guys there with this grant. So this year, the Maine Forest Service received a lot less funding than they have in the past, and a lot more requests. So you know, the work of the Maine Forest Service and the Maine Fire Chiefs Association made sure every department who applied for funding was able to get a grant. It might be a little bit less depending on the rubric category that they had to create for the grading. So very fortunate for us to be able to receive what we did for the funding. With the past couple of years and this year here, we're going to be able to outfit our 2 fire engines, my truck, as well as our side-by-side with exactly the same amount of wildland equipment on each apparatus, which is very key because there was times over the past summer that we responded more to one wildland incident at the same time. So having each one of our trucks outfitted with exactly the same amount of equipment in each truck, we're able to send trucks in opposite direction in town, out of town calls. You know, in the past, we might have had to, you know, move equipment around from truck to truck to be able to respond. So the last 3 years, including this being the 3rd year with what we've been able to receive, has really helped us get us to where we needed to be with some fire equipment. Very grateful there for the support from you guys, as well as the Maine Forest Service and the Maine Fire Chiefs Association.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, back to the council. All those in favor of order number 24? It's unanimous. 23, not
23,
My
yeah.
bad. Order number 24-2026, Councilor Danforth, can I have you read that one?
Mr. Chairman, order number 24-2026, providing for acceptance of snowmobile trail maintenance grant from the Maine Department of Conservation. It is ordered that the approval is granted to accept the 2025-2026 Joe Mary Riders Snowmobile Club Award from the Maine Department of Conservation Snowmobile Program Municipal Grant in Aid Agreement. The total award of $47,110. In addition to this, the town of Millinocket will pay Joe Mary Riders Snowmobile Club $1,000 to assist with grooming.
Second. Motion made by Councilor Danforth, second by Councilor Pelletier. Any councilor comments? Hearing none, down to the public. Mr. Manager.
Just a heads up on future conversation and policy suggestion on the way we disperse those matching funds. There's been some discussion with our administrative team and the the representatives from each of these 4 snowmobile clubs that we assist through this process. And there's been some collaboration and negotiation on what has always been the way that has been distributed, those funds that we raise locally to provide for matching funds. Last week I received a document with some recommendations to consider. So what and there is no policy in existence currently. To alleviate some frustrating conversations that can arise in the future, my suggestion is, we consider some of those recommendations that me and the clubs have been discussing, and we put some framework around it with a policy and have guidelines and rules to operate from. And you know, split that pot of matching funds raised locally a little more fairly within the clubs.
Awesome, thank you. All right, any other public comment? Seeing none. All right. Those in favor of order number 24? Unanimous. Councilor Pelletier, can I have you read order number 25-2026?
Certainly. Order 2026, providing for approval of District 29 Representative Election Advocacy Letter, Governor Mill. Whereas the town of Millmarket recognizes the passing of Representative Kathy Javner for her dedicated service, steady leadership, and impactful representation of North Penobscot County and the communities within. And whereas the town of Millmarket and its municipal officials acknowledge the importance of filling the vacancy to ensure continued representation for the residents of Northern Penobscot County, it is ordered that the Millmarket Town Council approves the attack advocacy letter requesting a special election be called to fill the vacancy, signed by Chairman Bragdon, and directs the town manager to submit the letter to Governor Mills on behalf of the town of Millmarket.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Pelletier, seconded by Councilor Gould. Any council comments?
I just wanted to say thank you for the letter, very eloquently put.
That wasn't me. All honesty, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Thank you, Mr.
That was Matt's auto pen.
Yeah.
His name is Peter.
I was on vacation in Boston. Peter very kindly wrote the letter for me because I could not do it. So thank you, Mr. Autopen.
As a former town councilor by the name of Jesse Dumay once told me, if you're gonna take the blame, please take the credit. But secondly, in a more serious note, I want to point out that my wife, after COVID, she went back to school, made Dean's List, and it wasn't shortly thereafter that she made the Dean's List that the congressman sent us a handwritten letter that we still have to this day. And I reached back out to her and was just very touched at the true sense of politics that she showed, and that was just representing all constituents. So should be greatly missed, and it's going to be a hard shoes to fill. So
Couldn't agree more. She a very good friend. It's been a rough year. So the letter reads, Dear Governor Mills, on behalf of Millinocket Town Council, we extend our sincerest condolences on the passing of Kathy Javner. Her service to Northern Penobscot County and to the communities within it reflect a deep sense of responsibility and care for the people she represented. Kathy's steady leadership, compassion, and dedication to public service made a lasting impact, and her loss is felt deeply throughout our region. As our community mourns, we are also mindful of the importance of ensuring a continued representation for the residents of Northern Penobscot County. The vacancy created by her passing leaves an important role unfilled at a time when strong advocacy for our rural communities remains essential. Prompt action to address this vacancy will help ensure that the voices of the region continue to be heard at the state level. The Millinocket Town Council respectfully requests that you issue a proclamation declaring the vacancy and calling for a special election to fill the seat. Taking this step would honor Kathy Javner's legacy and of service while reaffirming the values of meaningful and timely representation for our constituents. Thank you for your time and consideration and for your continued commitment to the people of Maine. We appreciate your leadership and attention to this matter. Respectfully, me. I will add a citizen, and I had a discussion today via phone call on my ride home. And I fully support this letter for the sheer purpose that budget season's around the corner, and it's extremely important that we have representation from a representative from our community that, you know, honors our values. And it's extremely, extremely important, especially with the multitude of politics and everything going on right now, that we have representation. Any other councilor comments before we go to the public? Seeing none, down to the public.
Nancy Terrio, 484 Poplar Street. I thank you for doing this. We've asked several of our other towns in our district to also do a letter so that the governor will get them from all of our towns. Kathy was extremely strong in terms of being an advocate for all of us in this area for the last 4 years. And prior to that, in 2020, she was completely redistricted. She only kept for one town that she lived in, Chester. She took us on brand new. So it's pretty impressive, all of the work that she did. She is one of the few people in all my years that was in either the legislature or in the Senate that had actually sent me a text. And I know other people that would say the same thing. When the bill was going before them, that she wanted feedback from people in a field, whether it was medical, real estate, towns, whatever, she would reach out. And I've heard a lot of people tell me this. So we've lost a great advocate for this area. And yes, it's very big shoes to fill. She currently has before she got too sick to do anything more, she had set up, and I don't know, Diana, if you had received the information of who her legislative aide is.
Not yet.
But I do have it, and I will give it to you after the meeting. I actually have given it out to a handful of constituents who were looking for some help in various different areas. So I do have that information, and I will provide it for you. And the governor has honored her with the flags in Penobscot County being half-staff on the day of her funeral on Saturday. So, and if anybody wants any information relative to that, I have all of that as well. But I want to thank everybody. This is a huge loss, all of us. We do need to get this done as quickly as possible. There is another special election that's happening in February down in Lewiston. And there is, I know that's on the docket already. So this may follow. This is also their short session that's supposed to go till the end of April. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, all those in favor of order number 25? It's unanimous. Alrighty. Thank you. Alrighty. Moving on, reports of communications warrant committee for February 12th, 2026 will be Council McGuallen and Councilor Pelletier, both of you available?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Chair committee reports.
I have none.
Okay, there is none. 2-minute public comment. This is the time that you guys can come up, ask questions, comments, concerns. If we can't answer the question today, we will come back with the next council and do our best to answer it. Yes. You look so impressed.
Jeff Campbell, Airport Manager. I got some very exciting news today. We got the tentative phasing plans for the runway reconstruction.
Oh,
Awesome.
fantastic.
So I'm hoping with the manager's help that sometime in the next couple of months, we can put together a little presentation for you folks going over the phasing and the plan for the airport.
That'd be wonderful.
It would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Jeff.
I am gonna add on to that, not necessarily about the airport, but Diana shared an email with us, and I think it's extremely important given our community is extremely elderly. So for those that do watch or listen on YouTube or see it on Facebook, we do have a warming shelter available. There's a poster that just came out from the Millinock Memorial Library. Need a place to stay warm. The library is available as a warming center this Friday and Saturday. Friday, 1/23, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 1/24, 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The library is heated and comfortable, and we will have warm beverages available. If you need a place to stay warm outside of these hours, please call the fire department at 207-723-7026. If you're experiencing an emergency, please call 911. Very important, please stay warm this weekend. It's going to be very, very cold. And I didn't do it last meeting, but I'm gonna do it this time. I would like to thank the manager for his anniversary. He going on, what, 4 years?
Yes, January 3rd, 2022. So 4 years in, 2 to go.
Awesome. So just want to thank you for all your hard work. I didn't mention it last time, but I thought it was important that we do mention it. So thank you for your dedication and hard work that you've put in.
Thank you.
Seeking a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion made by Councilman Wallen.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor. What?
That is, they took up the 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was a 2-minute public comment. Seconded by Councilor Runyon. All those in favor of adjourning? It's unanimous. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.